Alexa, turn off. Alexa. Alexa, turn off. Oh gosh, y'all. What season we in? Season 3, good morning. I look like people now today. I guess because season 3 is all about the marriage. Because yes, by now, 2012 met, 2013 trying to go into full effect for getting a daughter back. And now 2014 is the year that I actually marry Lucifer. Actually, Leech. We could say Leech. Actually, I think, it's neutral to just be like that man. So when I married that man. So we about to get into it. So again, the results. Why did I do this? I did this because, it's kind of like a cleanse. It's kind of therapeutic in and of itself. But also, too, it gives me an opportunity, again, like I was telling you previously, like I'm taking, or maybe I didn't say it, maybe I was saying this on my live, but I'm taking something that was super dramatic, just downright dirty, and I'm sort of turning it into art. And hopefully I'm packaging it in such a way that it helps the next person. All right? Because that's what Edgewential is all about, y'all. Promoting personal and financial growth for many. All right? So right now, this is a personal growth piece. All right? Because I don't know if you listening to my stories really going to bring you any financial growth. But definitely some personal growth for you. So we are in season 3, 2014. The year that I married the man. All right? So let's go. And guys, I realized doing this in the car actually is a little therapeutic too, right? So I got long drive today. I look at my people because I gotta go somewhere, which is actually convenient too, because I was like, man, if we're gonna talk about 2014, if we're talking to 2014, if we're talking 2014 and I'm getting married, man, look like people, girl. Get out of them damn hoodies and the damn basketball cap. I said basketball cap, the baseball cap, or it wasn't even baseball cap, it's just a cap. But anyway, I digress. Remember I told you I got ADHD. So 2014, season 3, y'all. Season 3. It is an interesting year because, and we're going to call this portion mind games. Because you remember, every season, I'm going to bring to you a portion of invisible abuse that we don't even really talk about. 2012, it was about the gaslighting, love bombing. In 2013, it's financial control, right? Because y'all know I was opening my wallet left and right, boop, boop, left and right. And now in 2014, we have the mind games. So mind games is a thing, all right? As long as a person is using a thing, let me just say a thing, right? Or using whatever information they have on you, whatever sort of insecurities you have, whatever that is, whatever your skill sets are, and they're using it specifically to control a narrative or control you or control how you think of a thing, that is mind games, all right? So my mind games begin. They probably were already beginning from day one, but for all intents and purposes, here we are. It's 2014 now. We're still in full effect, y'all, because by the beginning of this year, we still don't have the daughter, right? So we're still going through the court litigation piece, still traveling back to Virginia. I think he'd been on a national team too, as in Navy national team. And for all intents and purposes, I'm just continue to support him through whatever. And you remember I told you in 2013, he had these moments where it was like, bro, why you look like that? You coming home to a clean house, food cooked, your homework's done. I mean, what is going on? Why you look like you ain't trying to be here? But again, like I told you guys, I was so desperate for me to be in a position where I was like, oh, you know what? Well, it doesn't really matter because, we're smart. We can talk about it. He's articulate, blah, 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 blah. I was always feeding myself just the right thing to be like, well, what? Everybody's not perfect. Because listen, we are perfectly imperfect as a human race, period. Right? We have our ups, we have our downs, we have everything. And just reminder for anybody just coming into season 3, haven't watched season 2 or 1. Just want to let you guys know I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, born and raised, Shout Savan, and West Psycho. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you. Reminder for anybody just coming into season 3, haven't watched season 2 or 1. Just want to let you guys know I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, born and raised, Shout Savan, and West Psycho in Terrace. So from time to time, when I get really heated, I'm really being colorful, you'll get a little bit of my accent, all right? So bear with me a little bit. For all intents and purposes, doing my doing, because I'm telling you guys, I was ready. Like when I commit to a thing, y'all, I am committed. That's one thing I've learned about myself throughout my years. Like when I say I'm gonna do a thing, I wanna do a thing. When I say I got you, then I really got you. And if I don't have you, I'm gonna walk you off of, yeah, you know what? I mean, I said I got you, but there's a lot of things going on right now. I can't, right? I try to be as honest as I possibly can. Now, 2014, y'all. And again, 2014, we're just going to cover 2014. It might not be in exactly chronological order, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to cover 2014. In the beginning of the year, we don't have daughter. So what we're doing is we're fighting again. You give me a cause, man, put on that cape, right? I'm just saying, I put on my cape. I was ready. Still recording conversations, still conversing in journal. I said conversing journal, making journal entries. Because remember I told you guys, I keep reminding you guys, when you're dealing with a toxic person, because he had me thinking, right, that we were dealing with a toxic person, right? Like he had me thinking that baby mama was a toxic person, that all she wanted to do was cause strife in his life. So I went into, okay, boundary mode. We got to get boundaries with this girl. Boop, boop, boop. All the while, I'm not setting boundaries in my own toxic relationship, right? But hey, this is why I tell you guys, sometimes you got to just stop minding people's business and mind your own, all right? And in this time, I was so occupied with everybody else's business, I wasn't even realizing what was going on my own. And I guess for me too, because my career was not taking a hit, it wasn't taking a hit. It never took a hit. I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I mean, I can make I'm making my money. I don't depend on him. Boop, boop, boop. Because I'm telling you, these are all the lies I was telling myself. So, journaling, boom. Guardian ad litem appointed. Because I was like, ooh, what? Oh, they can't agree? Yeah, get that guardian ad litem. Y'all, who's footing the bill? Who's footing the bill? Listen, man, y'all want to, I think Webster should bring up, after Webster listens to the series, they should literally come up with the term walking ATM. And in there, they should put a picture of me. Y'all, what in the world? And it's funny because the way in which I used to like sign up to pay for stuff, y'all, you'd swear I'm rich. You would swear that I make buku money like I am Jeff Bezos. Or Mrs. Bezos. But anyway, I digress. So 2014, y'all. Guardian ad litem is appointed. I'm still taking all these notes, recordings, boom, boom, boom. I'm his flying monkey. Doing every and anything to make sure that, okay, he has everything that he needs, right? He has everything that he needs. The homework is getting done. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know if I told you guys in 2013, in season 2, that he actually had earned his associate degree, right? And so I have an associate degree too, y'all. But I digress. So, and again, if you're coming here looking for perfection, looking for super gossip, it's not really about the gossip. It really is about, this is my lived experience, but it's also too about what are the lessons that I learned. And then hopefully you can learn the lessons too, because remember, the end goal of this series is what? Changed behavior for the abuser and the abusee. And at the core of what I'm talking about, y'all, this is all about mental abuse. Mental abuse, mental health, I said mental abuse, but really mental health, right? So this is all about mental health. So I want you guys to really listen to the story, get your laughs, I can't believe this girl really legitimately, so smart as she is, did all this stuff. Like, what in the world? I get that, right? But at the core, what are we talking about? Our mental health, right? Because if our mental health is in a good space, the way in which we see ourselves is going to be so profound that you're going to just attract what's meant for you, right? You're not going to attract the bull crap, All right, so I digress. Anyway, so 2014 is in full effect. And it's still up and down because remember I told you the man would come home, he'd look like, and I'm like, what? I know I'm doing my part. And then you start telling yourself, I'm doing my part. It must just be something with him. But he's going to figure it out. And I told you guys, like, what I've lived through, I know a lot of men live through.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, about that.
You're telling yourself, I'm doing my part. It must just be something with him. But he's going to figure it out. And I told you guys, like, what I've lived through, I know a lot of men live through. Because men typically, like, society's put us in a place, right? I mean, maybe this is his story coming into space, but that men are supposed to be the providers. Men are supposed to be doing these things, and men don't get to complain, right? You know, Dax came out with a beautiful song. It's called "To Be a Man," I think, and it's a beautiful song because when I listen to that song, y'all, I'm like, Dax, you were talking about me. Y'all jokes. I'm sorry, jokes. But that Dax came out with that song in 2023, y'all. So it's not irrelevant. It's irrelevant to 2014. All right, Julie, get your ADD in check. I'm now still doing everything I possibly can. He's going out a little bit more because now that we don't have his daughter, it's almost like he's free, right? So he's free. He's out. He's doing whatever. He's still kind of finishing, like, doing school because I remember after the associate's degree, I was impressing him to be and get all the degrees like I was getting, right? Because by the time I met him, I had a master's degree and my English degree. And I think I probably just started working on a second master's or something like that, right? So with all that being said, or maybe I haven't started working on a master's, but I was working on like certs. So like my PMP, CIP, my ITIL Foundation 3. I just started working on other things. Or talking about it. And I'm gonna, like I told you guys, I'm a little bit of an academic, so I believe in education. Obviously, my company name is Eduential, right? And it really is about influential education. How do you get education? Through experience. How do you get experience? You know, just is what it is, through education. So it's kind of like the secular thing. So needless to say, we're going through the motions. We're getting closer, and I don't remember if it was like, then March comes around, and you know, and it's funny because I could kind of feel like him kind of pulling away, but not pulling away. But like I told you guys, I was always telling myself, well, you know, he's going through this stuff with the baby mom, right? I swear to you, like, he had me all the way convinced that whatever the hell was going on was because of the situation with his daughter, and the fact that he just was beaming and bleeding to want to be a dad, want to be involved, want to get to talk to her when he wants to talk to her, and all this other stuff. Like, literally had me captivated by the sheer desire to be the best dad that he can be. So all that happens. Oh damn. All that happens, and I'm saying to myself, like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna have to make this happen because this sucks. And we would get into some arguments here and there. And I don't know if I told you guys previously that, you know, he actually had me at, he's a Christian man. So like, that was another thing too. Like, I really believe wholeheartedly that he was a Christian man. And you know, listen, I already told you guys, I'm going to try to stay away from divisive topics like sex, religion, and politics. But it's important. He told me he was a Christian man, had me. I was like, well, a Christian man? I remember in the beginning, he was like, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and go through some of these Bible verses. He even bought me a Bible in 2014. I still got the Bible. It's funny because part of me, even now, I'm like, throw that thing away, girl, but you don't throw away the Bible. It's the Bible. So, and I don't consider myself to be like super religious, but I do believe in a higher power. There's no way that I've endured the life that I've endured. And not to say like, you know, but I come from humble beginnings. 32 square miles. I got all these degrees. I'm trying to make a life for my kids. I have stage 4 breast cancer. Y'all, I'm on death's door. And I'm still living to tell a story. I'm still living to inspire and inspiring him to live. So I gotta be grateful. Something is happening. So like I told you guys previously, if it's energy, God, Buddha, whatever, I do believe in a higher power. Just try not to get caught up in the name calling, because the name calling is where the division comes in. But he had me at, he's a Christian man. So all the while I'm thinking like his intentions are good. Like, first of all, because too in my mind I'm like, well, what man's gonna come out and just be like, he's a Christian man? Because everybody's always trying to be the cool kid, right? And let's be honest, like most religious men don't come off as super cool. That's just my personal opinion, y'all. Might be wrong in that opinion, but that's just what I was thinking back then. This is what to tell you. I was flawed, all right? Because there are many, all right, that I see now on social media. Thank God for social media. But there are many men that I see that are deeply rooted, truly rooted in their faith, and they're sexy as hell. So it can happen, all right? Welcome to the Cool Kids. So I now am like, okay, we're doing what we,
but you can lay with me so it doesn't.
And they're sexy as hell. So it can happen, all right? Welcome to the Cool Kids. So I now am like, okay, we're doing what we do. March comes around, and this is coming on the heels of something weird, because I remember I used to go to work and I'd be talking all the time. Shout out to my son's godmother. And just be like, yeah, you know, this is just this. And I'm telling, just always, y'all, if y'all think I am airing stuff now, imagine when I'm in it talking. Because I'd be like, man, this yesterday is just like, and it's not like a matter of airing your business. It really is about finding support. And I think you guys are going to understand at some point, your biggest superpower is being able to find people in your life to support you wholeheartedly. Like this man, his superpower is phenomenal, because he got me to support him for 10 years, and he didn't even give a shit about me. I'm gonna stand on that right now. He never cared about me. Listen, I'm just gonna stand on that right now, and maybe I'm wrong, but you gotta go with the data, because remember I told you the data will never lie. And the more I look back, I was like, girl, what is you doing? What were you doing? Like, if I, like, after the series, I might really have to like do content on like what I wish I told my younger self. Words for my younger self. All right, y'all, I'm about to be 41 in May as of the recording of this particular episode or part or season. I am going through litigation. So that's why I couldn't, but I had to get it out, right? Like I have to get the story out. So anyway, 2014, we're still in 2014, y'all, season 3. And around March, he asked me to marry him, y'all. And mind you, things were still kind of tumultuous. You had a lot going on. And again, every time, I guess he would probably feel like I was finding my support or my cojones or whatever you want to say, whatever that thing was that made him know that she's not there yet. I ain't break her yet. She's still bending. She ain't breaking. It would be another thing he would add. Because remember in 2013, I ain't got the daughter now. So I'm not occupied with stuff. So I'm doing volleyball, basketball, doing all this stuff. And we get a dog. So then in 2014, I got another dog. Because I was like, I'm going to get the dog that I want. I got a little dog. Right? Because I was like, I'm going to get the dog that I want. I don't want no damn dog that sheds. I already said I didn't want a dog that sheds. The dog is as big as me. Right? Listen, I love dogs, y'all. I love dogs. But a big dog looks better on you than it looks on me. Okay? I'm 6'3" tall. I don't want a dog that's like 60 pounds. All right? I want a lap dog. I'm a big person. I want a small dog. So I went out and got a dog too, but that was for me, and I felt empowered by doing that, right? Because I could tell that I sometimes was in a struggle for my own control, because I felt like I was losing control, right? So in those instances when I did things like that, I think it was like, okay, right? Like, Julie, because I think deep down, y'all, I felt the mind games. Like, I think deep down I felt the mind games, but again, I didn't want to admit it to myself. Like, I felt it, but I'm like, but people are flawed. We're imperfectly inhuman, and it's not that serious, and right, like, seriously. So I'm like, okay, we are where we're at. Get this dog. He asked me to marry him. I'm now his fiance, and y'all, I'm super stoked, and not really super stoked too, because if I really remember, like, I wasn't really like, I didn't like really post it on social media. It was almost like I almost felt like a consolation prize. Like, it's weird for me to like reflect on that, but I got this ring. It's a beautiful ring, by the way. And maybe for me, I thought like I was gonna have this grandiose proposal where he would like, you know, admit his undying and wavering love and shit like that. And but I don't know, like it was weird because I remember we were kind of like in an argument or something, and so we were, you know, silent treatment. That was a real thing. All right, that was a real thing. I was getting some silent treatment, and then I was in the kitchen. So I'm telling y'all about the proposal now. I was in the kitchen. I'm sorry, in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm kind of like in my, fine, you don't want to talk to me, I'm not going to talk to you. And then he kind of like tapped me on my shoulder, and I turn around from in the kitchen, and he's on his bended knee, and he has this box out. And I remember immediately thinking to myself, like, this is it. Y'all, I'm gonna agree.
To taste that. I'm so fancy.
He's on his bended knee, and he has this box out. And I remember immediately thinking to myself, like, this is it. Y'all, I'm ungrateful. I get it. I'm ungrateful. It is what it is. But you gotta understand your soul, y'all. It speaks to you. It absolutely speaks to you. Something in that moment didn't feel right. That's why it took me to that negative space of, this is it, right? Like, or again, maybe because of everything that I was doing and that I was sacrificing, that I thought it would be on a biggest stage. Like, look, I'm proud to be your man. I am proud that you are my woman. I'm gonna put you on a pedestal to see. And maybe because to this point too, I forgot to tell you guys that when we would get into arguments, so he would post me on the social media, my big bum and all this other stuff, and boom, 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 boom. And then when we would get into arguments, the first thing he would do was delete my ass. Y'all, seriously. So pictures are up for everybody to see, because, you know, I'm feeling good, because I'm like, look, I ain't nobody's secret. I want to let you know that right now. I ain't nobody's secret. All right? So when we would get into arguments, this dude would legitimately like delete me off his Instagram. So I was like, shit, that's how people behave? God damn. So then I got to a point where I was like, you know, Julie, you be mindful of what the fuck you post, because you ain't want to be putting things up and deleting stuff. Because I'm like, who does that? Right? But a person with no good intentions. That's what it is. It boils down to a person with no good intention, a person who doesn't care about you, a person who is all about the emotional control. Emotional control. Because you remember, up to now, y'all know me now. This is season 3. I was desperate to be somebody's partner. I was ready. I was ready to be somebody's mom. I was just ready to show somebody that all the good qualities I have will come in handy, and we're gonna be a powerful couple. I was ready. So I told myself the lies that I needed to tell. So I stayed around. And I was like, you know, because typically what I would do, y'all, my younger self, if things got rough, I'd be like, I got time for this. Like, you do you, bro, but I really don't have time for this. Like, I don't know what y'all thinking right now, but I ain't got time for this. And I would just be gone. I didn't give people chances and second. I didn't do that. But of course, when I get to the point where I decide to be more forgiving, let's just say that, be more forgiving, then all of a sudden, like, it's being like used against me, right? So it was just perfect timing, like the stars aligned. But again, I tell you guys all the time, everything happens for a reason. You might not understand it now, but I am almost certain and convinced that my testimony, my story is here and being told so that you recognize that you are not alone. That, and if you're in it, you can get out of it and be okay and thrive, not just survive. Because I don't want y'all to be like, I survived. No, I thrived, men and women. Because again, this isn't a female thing. This isn't a male thing. Because like I told you guys, where I stood in the relationship is typically where a man stands. It's typically. Now, you know, the emotional piece about me getting caught up and wanting to, my biological clock and all this stuff, I get it. that's probably the female piece, right? And I don't want to delineate between male and female parts, because that's not what it is. It's a human experience, right? But that's real. So when a man proposed to me, I was like, this is it. Because we were in our kitchen, it was just him and I I got this ring on my hand. And then he pulled out the camera that I bought him. It was a Canon EOS or something like that. And took pictures of the ring. He posted on his social media. And I want y'all to remember, this is 2014. I want y'all to keep in your noggin 2014, the year, is when he asked me to marry him, and then we married. But if I'm really thinking about just, again, the data doesn't lie. We were in court. Oh, and by this time now he's divorced too, by the way, right? So I just want to let you, okay, because I remember last time I left you with the cliffhanger, the fact that I found out he was married and he had to get through that divorce too. So he finally divorced, and that's one thing I did not pay for. I lie to y'all not. That is one thing I did not pay for, because I was like, that's you. Now you gonna get out of that yourself. But it wasn't contested. It was easy. Just what it was, right? So now he's engaged to me. So in case y'all was like,
Cause the players wanna play.
just what it was, right? So now he's engaged to me. So in case y'all was like, you said yes? You said yes and he was married? No. Okay, so he's now engaged to me. He's divorced now. And I am in a place where I'm just like, okay, it's a nice ring. It's a nice ring. It's a nice ring, right? I don't know how society got us all bamboozled about a ring, y'all, but I was like, okay, so even though in my heart of hearts, when I was first proposed to, my immediate inclination was kind of negative, right? Still said yes. Because I'm like, just because I said yes, I ain't got to marry him tomorrow. So now I'm like, ooh, okay, let's start planning the day. Because I also knew that I was not going to be engaged for 5 years. That I knew, all right? Because I heard stories. I'm like, you engaged for 5 years? What the hell? 5 years? Where's the commitment? So no judgment, y'all. Again, that is not me passing judgment. I just know that's not what I wanted for myself. And remember I told you guys, I need to learn how to stay in my own business, all right? So right now we talk about my business. So I was like, I knew I wasn't going to be engaged for no 5 years. So I said, okay, here's what it was. So March, get engaged. By June of 2014, we married. Now, I want you guys to remember, we still don't have his daughter just yet. And we're going through court. So again, you give me another thing to be distracted by, and I don't realize that what's really going on. The mind games. If I marry her, I go into court looking like I'm stable. And I have all these things. And my fiance, she shows up well. She's pretty. She's articulate. She has degrees. Listen, don't get no better than this. She looks good on paper. And she actually looks good in person too. So let's not, y'all, again, mind games is real. And I'm thinking, oh, he trusts me because he picked me. You know, he could have picked anybody, but it's me. Y'all, desperate, okay? Desperate. Just desperate for love, desperate to be a partner, desperate to be everything else. Going through litigation now. Summertime's coming up. We get her for the summer. We plan the wedding. I pay for the wedding. I really planned it, y'all. I planned it and paid for it. And I would try to force him, y'all. I really was trying to force him to opine on the wedding, to do things with the wedding. But you could kind of, listen, the man was disconnected. And maybe men are just typically disconnected. I don't know, y'all. This is my first experience. So I might be wrong in my assumption, but this is my first experience, right? And hindsight's 2020. So you can tell, like, the man, he didn't want to marry me. The man was marrying me for convenience. The man was marrying me for everything that he could get, or he thought he could get, or what it looked like, or like that. Everything was strategic for him. This is probably, if I'm being honest with myself, I would say, like, this is probably like the biggest con that I've ever been a part of. I was a mark. I felt like that's how I feel. I feel like I was a mark. And again, not a victim. I'm nobody's victim, because I'm still thriving through, and I'm living to help you recognize the signs of toxic and narcissistic abuse. Like, just toxic relationships, narcissistic relationships. You can't lose yourself, right? And what I did was I lost myself in somebody else's problems. And that is a problem. All right. So we get to a place where planning the wedding, I'm super excited too. I'm getting my white family to come. And, you know, I'm trying to do this shit on a budget, y'all. I remember going to like Light in a Box to get my wedding dress, y'all. As again, I'm on a budget. Cause like, it might look like I got a lot, but I'm semi-frugal, right? So I try to stretch my money as best as I can. So I'm trying to do this thing on a budget, credit cards this, credit cards that. By now, the gold card is just a shit show. By now, my credit score is like maybe in the 6s, 645 or some shit like that. And I'm like, okay, but all the while I'm still trying to help him build up his stuff too, right? Because I'm an all-around partner. I'm like, look, we gonna be full-rounded. And again, like I told you guys, this is probably why, you know, life coaching is so appealing to me, because I get to help you through your problems. Like, really, seriously, I really think that's why it's so appealing to me. And I do feel like sometimes all you need in your life is just like that one person who gets you to see things from a different perspective. And that's, hey, life coaches do that really well. So I digress. 2014, planning this wedding, beautiful wedding. And it's funny because at the time I was planning this wedding, I was 14, planning this wedding, beautiful wedding. And it's funny because at the time I was planning this wedding, I was also studying for the PMP, y'all. Yes, I'm a project management professional. And but at the time, it was just so much stuff going on. So I failed the test. And y'all, it was the first time in my life I failed at a thing. Oh my God, that thing crushed me. I didn't know what the hell to do with myself. I was like, wouldn't it? I failed the PMP the first time I took it. And then he was like, it's okay, baby, don't worry about it, boom, 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 boom. So I was like, you know what, got a lot going on, is what it is. So then what I ended up doing, planning the wedding, we get through the wedding, it's a beautiful wedding, expensive wedding, paid it, I had like maybe 40 people, and it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was a shotgun wedding, because it wasn't, but it was quick, and I couldn't invite all the people that really mattered to me, because people were just all over the place, and I was moving so quickly, and I only had 40 seats. Okay, that's how deep my pockets went. It was like a banquet style. It was nice. It was nicely done. Shout out to Hilton Garden Inn in Fairfax, Virginia. All right, it was beautiful. All right, it was outdoor, quick. You know, it was nice. By the way, too, right? So we came from Texas to get married in Virginia, because majority of my folks were in Virginia. It just made sense, right? My mom came up. But you know what's so crazy, y'all? Like, if you remember I tell you guys, the universe has a way of trying to get you to just slow down and just but I don't listen. I wasn't listening. My wedding dress comes in, y'all, and I had to take it in because it was too big. And it came from Light in a Box. This is not a downplay on Light in a Box. It's just a matter of, it came in and my measurements were off, so I had to go get it taken in. I go into the tailor to get it adjusted, and the tailor does like a botch job on the damn wedding dress, y'all. And my wedding is in like 2 days. And I'm like, this is a freaking nightmare. And I decided to marry him on a Friday the 13th. June 13th, 2014. And why? Because I met him in person. Like, I actually flew out to Texas for the first time in 2012 on a Friday the 13th. So I was like, oh, that's just lines. I like making shit make sense. Sometimes, listen, I even try to force things to make sense, all right? I'm like, Friday the 14th, people just always want to associate that with bad luck, but I'm going to associate it with some good luck. You see where I'm at right now, right? So, decide that June 13th, and if you get married on a Friday, y'all, Friday typically is cheaper than a Saturday, Sunday wedding, right? Or like a weekend wedding. So it made sense. So June 13th, 2014, I decide to marry him. Wedding dress is no good. Like the hell, like no good. So now here comes my white family, who are privileged in their own right and have always supported me. And I love them to death. And when we get to just talking a little bit more about them, but I love them to death, and they've always supported me. I like to say that my mom raised me, and my white parents, my white family, they reared me. All right. So I'm a I'm a product of a village. So thank you guys for that. Mom and Pop, you guys know who you are, right? Love you guys. So Mama comes in and she's with me and I remember my previous boss, my matron of honor, was there too. Right? And it was a good time. And you know, Grandma B was there too. And we go to like Dave's Bridal or something like that. And it, like, first of all, y'all, I already know I ain't want to spend more than $200 on a wedding dress because it ain't like that, right? I ain't got it like that. So I go in, and then they make me, all these girly girls that I'm with, these folks are girly girls. And my mother-in-law is there too. Well, yeah, his mother's there, right? So trying on these dresses, and I get in this one, y'all, and I lie to you not, like, you always know your dress. Like that is a real thing. Like when you put on a dress, I will tell you right now, like, when you put on an actual dress that's meant for you, for your wedding day, you will know it inside and out. The stars will align. You will feel like one of those little princesses going, oh, that's how I felt. And I don't really, y'all, you can tell I'm a little rough around the edges, right? I'm a tomboy. Like I consider myself to not be a girly girl, but in that dress, I was like, damn, like princesses going, oh, that's how I felt. And I don't really, y'all, you can tell I'm a little rough around the edges, right? I'm a tomboy. Like I consider myself to not be a girly girl, but in that dress, I was like, damn, like I knew, like I felt brighter. I did. So what I ended up doing was, everybody saw that this was the dress. So what my mom did, my white mom, she bought it. She spent the coins to get that dress for me because she knew I wanted it and I couldn't afford it. So thank you, Mama, for that. She buys me this beautiful dress, y'all. I mean, it's a beautiful dress. Okay, we still in fact. The wedding's gonna be good. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Dress is good. The venue is good. Music's good. I had one of my mentors. He's a DJ. He comes to DJ. That was his gift to me. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And he's a trusted mentor, y'all. Like even to this day, before I decided to do this series, we talked about it, right? So shout out to my mentor. One of my mentors. I have many mentors, y'all. You'll hear me talk about many of them, but this one, he's a really good mentor. So, in the wedding now, boom, 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 I come out, I get walked down the aisle by the closest things I have to dads, my white dad and Mr. B. Mr. B is, I mean, he's known me since I was 11 years old, y'all. 11. I'm around these big trucks, y'all, I'm sorry. 11 years old, walks me down the aisle, and I remember like walking down the aisle. Oh, before we get to walking down the aisle, y'all, remember I told you the damn energies be telling you what it is. It rains. Oh my God, it's a rainy day. Lord have mercy. It raining on my wedding day. Oh, I'm not gonna be. And I cried a little bit. I was like, this is bad luck. Doop, 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 doop. Y'all. And it calms up. It's still nice. We can still have it outside, so it works, right? Mr. B walks me down the aisle. You lead, I'm on a little, right? The Mr. B walks me down the aisle, and Pop walks me down the aisle. And I'm feeling like, I'm really like, at this point, I'm still on cloud out because I know I look amazing. You know, his daughter looks amazing because I made sure she looked like the best little flower girl, with her little updo, and just beautiful, just picturesque, y'all. So now I get to a point where the ceremony happens, and y'all, first of all, what big sham is this wedding? First and foremost, right? You pay all this money for 15 minutes of I do, and you have like a little party at the end. But needless to say, it was a beautiful event, and first dance, all this other stuff. And again, one thing I recognize with this man is that he was the king of putting on a show. So when eyes were on him, My God, you could have sworn. You'd be like, I want that. That's what I want right there. But all the while in the back, you're like, well, what he did yesterday, because that's another thing too, leading up to our wedding, y'all, I know he didn't have, it was weird because he had the same, the same ex-girlfriend that came to my house and told me I should have changed her daughter's diaper was at the wedding. And that was pretty much like his friend. He had nobody else at the wedding. And then also too, his good friend, right? His good guy friend, they served together. And he wanted him to come, but that good friend couldn't afford to come out. So I paid for that friend to come out as a surprise for him. Y'all, I know y'all, listen, by now y'all like, Julie, stop. I know. I'm sorry, y'all. And it's funny because when I talked to the friend and told the friend like I was gonna pay for him to go out, I thought that friend would have just been like, well, you know, it's okay, I pay you back when I can. But hey, you know, you want offer to pay me back. I didn't go, oh, you need to pay me back either. So it just is what it is. It just is what it is. But needless to say, y'all, the wedding happens. He has two friends on his end. He also had his cousin that got married come and his dad, right? And his mom. So he had his mom, his dad, his cousin that got married that we went to his wedding, 2 years ago. And then, and his wife, right? And then his guy friend, his best friend. But that we went to his wedding, 2 years ago. And then, and his wife, right? And then his guy friend, his best friend. But it was weird because his energy was off. And I was just so hell-bent on like, oh, this is going to be great. And it's going to be a beautiful wedding. And, everything's going to turn around. Like, I was just always so freaking optimistic. Like, painfully optimistic, y'all. Like, what is wrong with me? But anyway, beautiful day. Great pictures to tell about the day. But all the while you recognizing like his attitude stink because I rented a house for everybody to kind of stay at so that we could all be together after the wedding and all this stuff because we lived in Texas. So we could just have a good time. So the house had a pool and all this other stuff so we could just have a good family time. But leading up to the wedding, like his attitude was saying, like, I think before 2 days before the wedding or some shit like that, we got in an argument. And then when I surprised him with his best friend, it kind of it looked like it kind of picked up, but then it just was what it was. So then we get married and like I told you guys, like he puts on a great freaking show. Like I could see the tears in his eyes. Like when I walked out and he saw, I guess, how beautiful I looked. I don't know. Or maybe he was just crying at his demons. Like, I'm about to marry this woman knowing that I don't love her. That all I'm doing is using her. It could have been that too, y'all. Listen, and I don't know. Only he could tell his story, right? But like, I am obviously, like I'm telling you, I'm absolutely convinced that there's no way there's no way that this dude ever really, like, truly, yeah, like, I don't think he ever really, like, truly cared, loved me. I was a mark that just went too long. That's what I'm thinking. So, get out, they ask, do you take this woman? Boop, 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 boop. He's like, I do! Again, remember shit you want, right? Like you'd be like, oh, that's me. Hi, Kiko. Right? Tears in his eyes. When I walked out, I was like, man, I must look like scrummylicious, right? Because he was crying. I was like, oh, okay, boom. Daughter looked good too. We take our pictures throughout. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I even rented an Escalade too, so we could take pictures at this car. Because I know he was like, I recognized a long time ago too that he was all about keeping up with the Joneses too, right? Like making it seem like he had when he didn't have, right? Or, keeping up appearances. So I aided in that too. Like, I get you, I know who you are, so I'm gonna try to help you do the things that you say you wanna do. It's your wedding day. It's our wedding day. Whatever. So I rented this Escalade. It came out. Boom, take pictures by the Escalade. Boom, 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 boom. That's a car that we had to drive around. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I was trying to, listen, I always tried to give what I thought he wanted. Always. But it was never enough. And that's when you're going to know you're dealing with a toxic person, because whatever you do will never be enough. Even though you're enough. But you will never be enough. You will never feel enough. Because it will always be, I need more. I want more. Boom, boom, boom. If you did, or blah, blah, blah. All right? I think I'm talking off my lipstick, so let me go ahead and add some more. So, at the end of the day, this is actually like lip stain. No, it's not lip stain. Remember I told you I'm a tomboy. So, for all intents and purposes now, we're married. Y'all think I had a honeymoon? Y'all think I had a honeymoon? And I was looking forward to a honeymoon somewhere at some point throughout the 10 years. You hear what I'm telling you? Somewhere, some point, I was looking forward to a honeymoon. And I never got one. I never got an extravagant trip to like a Hawaii or, I don't know, Bahamas. I don't know, somewhere. All those places y'all be talking about and how you spend 7 days of bliss, and never got that. Never got it. No matter what I poured in or how I poured it in, never got that. And you'll find out how he justified me never getting one. So guess what? For my honeymoon, y'all, I came back to Texas, a married woman with a child, right? Because now we come to pick the child up for the wedding also, but also for the summertime, because it's his time now to have her. This is before we got to go back to court and all this other jazz. So it's June and my honeymoon doesn't exist. I go back to Texas with one child, and then his nephew, like an 8-year-old or something like that at the time, comes.
'Cause all of me.
And then his nephew, like an 8-year-old or something like that at the time, comes to live with us. I said live with us, but be with us for the summer. So I just got married to him, and his wedding gift was his daughter and his nephew. And he going off by his own, listen, he going off to do his own thing, y'all. He getting up to work, go to work every day, and I got to drop them off to the daycare, to the summer camp, and doing whatever. And his little nephew was a little pain in the ass sometimes. You hear what I'm telling you? Good kid. I'm gonna say he was a good kid, because I used to always say, like, stop telling them that he's bad, because when a kid hears that they're bad, then that's what they think. But he was a pain in the ass, a little bit, right? So he'd be biting kids at school and shit like that. Y'all, can you imagine? So this is what I be telling y'all. I'm a glutton for punishment. So I just got married, beautiful wedding day, paid for the shit. And my thank you was, you about to go into full mom mode. So I'm dropping the kid off, and kid's getting into trouble, man. The kid is getting into friggin' trouble. And I'm just saying to myself, like, it is always some drama. But you know what I also didn't realize too? That as soon as I decided that I was gonna marry him, as soon as we were married, then I think like his mother started like influencing what he did at home. And it could have been the fact that she was doing it innocently, could have been the fact that she was doing it maliciously, because what I didn't tell y'all too is that I had a theme for the wedding. And for the wedding, I had said you can either use black, red, white, or cream or something like that. Oh, black, red, and white, I think, were the colors for my... So I showed up in my white dress. You know who else showed up in a white dress? And there was the only other person to be in a white dress. And it's funny because it didn't dawn on me till one of my girlfriends pointed it out. They were like, Julie, it's your wedding day. Everybody knows not to wear white. Especially the females. My mom was in a black dress. Everybody else was in a black dress. His mama showed up in a white dress, y'all. You know, that's my bad. I should have known better, right? Like, that should have been another red flag. Oh, okay. Y'all, is y'all mother and me wedding dress? Y'all mother and me wedding day. But hey, it's fine. But like I said, and you gotta keep that into mind, y'all, because remember, you're gonna see how all this stuff kind of unfolds. And again, this is my perspective. I might be wrong in my thinking, my association, but the data doesn't lie. The data does not lie. All right? And you gotta remember, this man is who he is based on where he come from. All right? People are who they are based on who they come from. Okay? So, I digress. Now, I'm here. It is what it is. And I now have 2 children. A 2-year-old and like an 8-year-old or something like that, 6-year-old. I don't know. He was young. 8, it might be 8. The man getting in trouble. The little boy getting in trouble. The little boy is getting in trouble. Like, you can't just go to school and sit your little behind her. Sit down. Listen to what the people are telling you. Y'all, I remember there was one time I dropping him off to school. And he was like, and listen, I went hard for his daughter. I mean, I went hard. I remember I said, listen, I'm so sorry. You, the daycare folks, y'all remember me? I'm so sorry. I used to be like, look, I don't understand. Like, when I come pick her up, she looks different than when I dropped her off, and nobody can tell me what happened to her. I used to go in hard, y'all. And I wasn't like super combative, but I'd be like, because I take taking care of somebody's kids seriously. Because once and foremost, like, you trust me to take care of them, so I'm going to try my best to take care of them as best as I possibly can. But one day, the nephew, the daughter, and me walking into the school, and he like, ha-hun. I said, listen, little boy, that is not okay. So we get into the school, and this man, listen, this little boy threw himself on the floor like he throwing a tantrum. I said, boy, if you don't get your little ass up, let's go. What we doing? We don't. Remember, you have a choice. You guys stay here on the floor, or you can come. Let's go. You ain't come. Let's go. Needless to say, the man got into the school. He decided he was gonna stay. Went into the school, and he bites some child that day. Oh my God, y'all! This dude, what's going on with this child? So no, he can't come back to the school. And I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to remember what I saying in them. Remember what I saying right now. So now, daughter is able to go to daycare or the summer's camp or whatever because it's summertime. But now,
Here comes the shame, here comes the shame.
Is able to go to daycare or the summer's camp or whatever because it's summertime. But now, the nephew can't go no place. He get kicked out. Oh, what we gonna do? Well, that ain't my problem. Listen, some problems I definitely like, look, this is I'm spent. So, this man had fine. Some coworker, and I want y'all to pay attention to this coworker. Some coworker's aunt or mother or somebody in her family could watch him throughout the day. And you know what I noticed too about 2014 sometimes too, y'all? He would come home with Tupperware. That don't belong to us. Oh, wait, so somebody at your job cooking you food to bring. Oh, okay. And again, still oblivious, y'all, blinded. Who was blinded? Me. I was like, okay, I mean, because I remember too, at Rush, we used to have like these competitions, you know, we island people, like I said, we island people. We had a couple of island people, Mr. T and me. So we would, you know, I would bring Tupperware from time to time. We would just do some exchanges. So like, you know, maybe that's the same thing happening. Listen, when you doing shit innocently, you gonna think the person you with doing things innocently too. But I'm telling you, listen, pay attention to the red flags, y'all. Pay attention to the red flags. So all of a sudden now, he has somebody to watch the nephew. So we good to go. So he would take the nephew, I take the daughter, do her school thing. And I'm looking because I want to make sure I'm talking about all the rest of it. Then all of a sudden, he started like just, I don't know, man. Like I just feel like he was projecting because like one time we got into an argument, y'all. He threw his ring at me. Mind you, we just got married in June. Threw his ring at me. We're not equally yoked. The hell, just randomly. Like, you know when you know you're dealing with somebody who's toxic, y'all? Because they will find the most inopportune time to try to make a correlation to something that is irrelevant. We talking about whatever it is was happening, and I don't remember what the argument was about, y'all. But he threw his ring at me and told me I'm not equally yoked. And in my mind, listen, when you are as desperate as I was to be somebody's partner, every indication, every instance where he would emotionally just beat me, it took a toll on me. And I didn't know. I didn't know it. It took a toll on me and I didn't know it. So when he threw his ring, I remember immediately thinking like, like where'd I do that at? Like, we just got married. Like, and you throwing your ring off? You taking your ring off and throwing it at me already? But then also too, he had these tendencies when we would get into arguments, he would posture. Because y'all, can we say whatever we want? If I was maybe a little bit smaller, maybe he would be a person to put his hands on me. Maybe. I don't know. He already put his hands on baby mom. He could easily put his hands on me for whatever reasons, right? I'm not gonna be here saying that he's a physical abuser, y'all, because like I was not physically abused until it was way after, until I was done, right? Whatever physical abuse actually looks like, right? So I'm using that word loosely. Just want you guys to know, I'm using it loosely. Somebody puts their hand on you, that's physical abuse. Okay. But he wasn't beating me. But he would do this thing when he got into an argument and be like, didn't I? Like he's in the military, like he's talking to one of his freaking sailors. I call it posturing. And he posture all he wants, and this is what it was. And y'all, look, I had a little bit of I have a temper as well, right? And I know I do. And because I know I do, I think that's why I'm overly transparent. I think that's why I overly share. Because if I'm able to overly share and be overly transparent and be the energy I feel in a room, then it's going to take you that much more to get me to a place where I'm spazzing out on you. And there were a couple times in 2014 where I was spazzing. Like I threw the dog once. Y'all, I threw the damn dog. Shame on me. SPCPA, or what is it? The PETA, don't come for me. Okay, I love my pets. I do. But I threw the dog. The little dog. I was like, to him. So y'all be like, you threw him on the floor. No, the dog's fine. All right. And then I broke like one of those 9x12s because he was just saying some dumb stuff, like just dumb stuff, y'all, and making me always question myself. That sucked more than anything else. Like what I'm saying doesn't make sense. Like I think I'm a pretty intelligent.
Strange things that happen here, no strange.
And making me always question myself. That sucked more than anything else. Like what I'm saying doesn't make sense. Like I think I'm a pretty intelligent person. Like how do you not know? And how do you not feel? And how do you not see what I'm seeing? You think it's okay for us to get married, and your thank you for me, your let's start this new life is I now have to be on point for your daughter and also your nephew. But then I said, Julie, you signed up for this. You know the man came as a package. It's a package deal. So you tell yourself, you convince yourself it's a package deal. Take it or lose it. And remember I told you when the man proposed to me, I was saying to myself like, man, I feel like this is a consolation prize, right? Because it wasn't a grandiose gesture. But then even, I forgot to tell you guys about the bridal shower, because the bridal shower was planned in my son's godmother's backyard at the time. And it was nice. And that's when he had all his people. I didn't really have a lot of people because it's in Texas. And I really thought it was weird. Like, if you really think about it, like we got married and his show up was his dad, his mom, his cousin, and a friend. And then the ex-girlfriend that was in my house that told me I needed to change her kid's diaper. That made it a point to let me know that she bought him a phone. I'm telling you, this is real. So that was it. 6 people in all your life. And you about to step into this new space. And this was also the same ex-girlfriend, good friend, that when he needed her to show up in court to testify and be a character witness, she decided she wasn't going to come. So I was like, okay. But then all of a sudden they were buddies again. Like, you got to remember, like I'm telling you guys, what this man is really good at is triangulation, manipulation, and making it seem like he is always the victim. Like, yeah, how can she? Because I was like, I remember sitting there and him telling me that she's not coming to be his character witness. I was like, but she told she was coming. Yeah, man. She's talking about her work days. I'm like, that's a real thing too. Like work, you can't get PTO all the time. But this is important, right? Like, but hey, there I go in people business again, right? I need to mind my own business. So needless to say, y'all, we in 2014. I'm now married. That summer, I pay for SeaWorld. We go to SeaWorld and, I front that bill. And I'm trying to have the experience because I'm like, if I'm going to do a thing at least one time, I'm going to try to have a good experience in it. So I got us a cabana, or whatever, and we were there and just paying for this, paying for that, the day pass and blah, 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 blah. But my honeymoon was legitimately taking care of his daughter and his nephew got kicked out of freaking school, the damn summer camp. So then he had to find somebody to look after him. So he found that person. No issues. I didn't trip. I was like, whatever it was. But the crazy thing about it is, like, 2014, because, you know, everything was kind of wherever it is, wherever we had good wins, little wins, I would convince myself, like, okay, this was meant to be. So we end up winning the custody case. And it was crazy because, like, we showed up in court and her mom didn't show up. And I remember, because it was kind of like an appeal thing, because when we won the first time, she literally, like, just dropped daughter off. And this is this is not, now that I've gone through what I've gone through, this is I have to look at it from a different perspective now too, because in the interim, when I was in it, and you drop your daughter off, you don't drop her off with anything, not a stuffy, not any clothes, not any blah, for this custody exchange. But I get it because you know this man is a user. You know that he is placating like he really gives a shit, when in fact he could care less. When in fact it really is just about being in control. That's really what it is, right? So I'm like, oh, I can't believe boop, 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 boop. And I was like, it's okay. Let's go. So we go to Walmart and get her everything she needs, 7 days worth of things. And then we just slowly keep building on that. You can tell I'm a team player. I'm like, no, me. And I used to remember that too. Like, I remember saying that after we got married. He was like, I would always say we. When we talked about stuff, when he talked about stuff, he'd say I. It would always be in singular, and me, I'd be in plural. All the time.
Bend down, pause, maybe just bend down.
Like, I would always say we. When we talked about stuff, when he talked about stuff, he'd say I. It would always be in singular, and me, I'd be in plural. All the time. Every single time. So now, y'all, you got the juice for 2014. The lesson was simple, because I'm telling you, mind games, right? He was always giving me just enough for me to think that we were in it together. We were in it to win it, right? But that wasn't the case. And like I told you guys, like, I'll stand by it and say, like, it was all strategic, right? If I marry her, I go to court, I look good. My wife, boop, 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 boop. She's been here in the trenches. And I used to have this song that I would sing. Like, I was embedded. Listen, y'all. I was embedded. And I think so crazily because I was ready to be somebody's parents, ready to be somebody's mom, living vicariously over the fact that I did not have to carry anybody for 9 months, but I got to sort of be on the back end and be a support space for this little person, right? And I jumped right in, 2 feet in, y'all. I'd be like, no, we're going to drink water. No, we're going to do this. No, we're going to do that. No, we're going to do that. And keep that in mind too, y'all. When you jump in as a step parent anywhere, the first 5 years, it's not your job to be anybody's disciplinary. Because you know what? If you're in a toxic space, that's what's going to happen. And then when it's convenient for them, you're going to always be the bad guy. So here I was, another flying monkey doing his bidding, being a parent, and he got to be fun dad. And I got to be the police, the fun police, right? But we're here. We now have, it's now 2014. We're married. We won custody. I don't get a honeymoon. I got to look after children. And then he's getting ready to deploy. So deploy as in he got to go to sea duty. And in the Navy, when you do sea duty, you could do it at Quantico and it's considered sea duty. So you have to go on a plane. And I always used to tell people, like, I'm so blessed, you know, he's never really been on a ship. He's never really been deployed. But I digress, right? So he's getting ready to be deployed. And I remember in this same year, I said, it's okay. You can go wherever you want to. Because I didn't want him to think that his career was going to take any sorts of hits because I needed to find a job. Because I was confident enough with what I brought to the table to be able to say, like, look, as a project manager, I can go anywhere and do this job. And at that time, y'all, I was in IT project management. Y'all know IT project management is a hit. So I was like, I can go anywhere and be okay. He put in orders. I can't remember all the places, but Virginia is one of them. But y'all remember, we can say whatever we think. Everything is strategic. Because guess what's back in Virginia? Yeah, my townhouse. Right? Right? So that means if we going back to what's already established, he ain't got to come up with no plans. He ain't got to do nothing. Okay? So we get ready to go on deployment. I remember just all throughout 2014 was messed up. Because you know what? Oh, on the night of our marriage, y'all, we did not commensuate. We did not have sex. All right? We didn't. Wedding night fun. That did not happen. Chucked it up. Oh, you fell asleep. Blah, blah, blah. On me. So it's because I was tired. So, hey, it is what it is. But it did not happen. It wasn't no big. Didn't happen, y'all. All right? On our wedding night. We stayed at this hotel. I think somebody else paid for it to try to give us a little. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm lying. They got us the hotel, but it had to be paid for. So I think I ended up paying for the hotel too. But nothing happened the night. And I remember just being like, is this what this shit is? Wow. Y'all, red flags all the way. Listen, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. I keep telling you guys, maybe I was cloaked. Maybe I was whatever. But no. So I got married. On the wedding night, nothing happened. I come back, a mom. He brings his nephew because apparently his mom was telling him that nephew needs a different scene and blah, 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 blah. Again, remember I told you, as soon as I got married, I feel like she was on the back end just trying to like control my household, right? Because regardless of whatever he dished to me, and I always did my best because, you know, for a long time, I actually liked her. Thought, you know, in the heart of hearts, like, she's a good person, right? So it was what it was. We're preparing now. He gets orders to go to Virginia. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm moving back to boom, boom, boom. I'm like, we good. Got a townhouse. You ain't got to worry about it. So, because then the rent went down too, right? Because I think the townhouse, the mortgage is like $1,100 or something like that, right? Start looking at schools. Where's she going to go? Because I'm already in mode, y'all. I'm like, I'm a planner. I want to be proactive. I don't want to walk into anything not knowing nothing. All right?
Are you feeling good tonight?
$100 or something like that, right? Start looking at schools. Where's she gonna go? Because I'm already in mode, y'all. I'm like, I'm a planner. I want to be proactive. I don't want to walk into anything not knowing nothing. All right? So, and that was easy for him because it was like, oh, well, you know, Virginia, this is your space. So really and truly, he gets his orders and I'm making it happen, right? I remember that drive. And this time he's driving. So we drove, because we drove in the big truck. We drove. Munchkin dog. Because at this point too, y'all, by 2014, we had to get rid of the big dog. The big dog was eating up the damn. The big dog was eating up the duplex. Literally eating the air conditioned stuff on the outside. I was like, this all got to go. All right. So now I go to Texas in 2012, live there. 2014, we're coming back at the end, on the tail end of 2014. Right? And it is like December 2014 going into January. Shout out to Truck Centers again, because they were like, look, you are a valuable person. We'll let you figure yourself out and until you find a new job. Boom, boom, boom. So I was working remotely for a couple of months before I landed a job in IT in the government in DC, right? Actually, Lorton, Virginia. But on this drive in 2014, and it was just a weird drive. It was a vibe, y'all. It was a vibe. It was almost, you know, now that I'm looking back at it, it's almost like he already was building and doing whatever dumb shit he was doing. So like the fact that he was separating himself from that, again, because remember I told you guys, a toxic person, in their heart of hearts, when they know they're not being good to you, it eats at them, I think, a little bit. I think sometimes their conscience shows, right? So, and it just spews over in different ways. So we're here, it's happening, and we're in this truck. We get to Virginia and we have to stay at my white parents' home for a little bit until my tenants get out of the property. Ship the car, and it's just weird. It's weird, but it's a new beginning. I don't really know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on, but again, I think I can fix it. I think I can fix it. I think we can talk our way through it. So the recap, 2014 is the year I got married and the year I didn't get a honeymoon. I'm probably never gonna get a honeymoon. Yeah, definitely not getting a honeymoon now, y'all. I filed for divorce, but didn't get a honeymoon. I came back, I was a mom, boom, boom, boom. The summer was spent with kids. We finally have her, so now it's just, and of course his nephew went back, but that's it. I mean, I pretty much got it. Yeah, that was it. So, you know, you got to ask yourself, in this realm of mind games, that's what it becomes. Give me just enough to think that it's a we, but it's really he. And, you know, triangulating folks in such a way that when they talk to you, they're pretty much spewing exactly like his thought process. And you're like, oh, well, I guess he's not that off, right? Because that makes sense. Like, why wouldn't that be a thing, right? Because somebody else sees the perspective. And perspective is everything, but perspective without context, y'all, is manipulation, right? So with that being said, 2014, it's the end of season 3. And remember, all of this is like, I did all and made all the dumb decisions, so you don't have to. So if you're in a thing that you need to get out of, please do. Please do. Why? Well, like, do you really want to do 10 years or 20 years or 30 years? Because I'm telling you, you don't get those years back. And I will continue to tell you guys throughout the series that dis-ease leads to disease. And we didn't get there yet, but dis-ease becomes dis-ease. So you could tell, like 2012, there was dis-ease. In 2013, dis-ease. In 2014, dis-ease. And I still married him. And I married him thinking to myself, like, oh, he picked me. He picked me. It's me. I'm doing it. It's me. But that's the lies that you tell yourself. I never told you. I told myself lies. I lived the lie. And now I'm in reality. So please stay tuned for season 4. I'm going to start losing count, y'all. I got an English degree. Season 4. So 2015 is up next. All right? Stay tuned.